I knew there was something wrong with me. My wife knew it, but we didn't know what it was. I would come home just exhausted, just totally just wore out. I had a dry cough, and the dry cough was persistent every morning. And I finally went to the doctor, and the doctor did a chest x-ray, and then they didn't like what they saw, and then did a CAT scan, and the pulmonary doctor then, after they got the results of the CAT scans, said that I had pulmonary fibrosis.
As a registered nurse, I had never heard of pulmonary fibrosis. The day that I went to the doctor's office and got the copy of the CT scan and read it, this was before he was told anything, I read it and I thought, what on earth is this? The doctor said to us, you're going to be on oxygen in a short time and then you'll need a lung transplant, but you'll probably be too old and you can expect to live for 3 to 5 years. And there's no treatment, he said. So we came home and tried to understand all that, to read on the internet and see if there were any options. And we really learned there weren't many options out there. There's no treatment as you think of for cancer or something like that. Now they do have a couple of drugs on the market that may slow progression if you can stand to tolerate taking them, which he cannot. So there's no treatment. If you qualify, you could get a lung transplant. You could be put on the list for a lung transplant and wait for one of those.
Since then, the amount of energy I have is continued to decline. I built houses with Habitat for Humanity. I did Southern Baptist disaster relief work all over the country after natural disasters, and I volunteered at the State Railroad Museum in Kentucky for many years, and all those things are physical activities, and I can't do them anymore. And it's gotten progressively worse as time has gone on. To where now, my days to now, I'm in the house all the time. I go out for doctor's visits. It's about the only time I ever leave the house. I'm on this oxygen all the time, which is about it's a 50-foot hose that limits to where I can go in the house. It's really ironic. You don't realize how much energy it takes to breathe. And the fact that my body's working so hard to breathe, even with oxygen at the high rate that I'm on, I don't get enough air to make up for the deficit.
I help him bathe, which is, I know, hard for him. And we live in a 2-story house. So rather than him make the trip upstairs to change clothes, I'll just go get his clothes and bring them here and then help him change clothes. Anything that I can do to make it easier for him, any activity is just really hard for him now. The only time he basically goes out now is to a doctor's appointment or to get a haircut, things like that. So we know when we're going to go out, we need to keep in mind wherever we're going, we need to consider how far it is to get into the office, how far he will have to walk. We have to prepare to take his portable concentrator with us, so we need to prepare to have the batteries fully charged. It will only last, his portable concentrator with the batteries, 2 batteries fully charged, will last us 4 hours. So we keep that in mind when we plan to go out.
My children have a gathering at their homes. I don't go out because it's too exhausting for me to go out. Just day-to-day activity is a real challenge. I mean, to brush my teeth, that's a kind of a challenge, simple thing. It seems stupid to say that would wear you out, but you don't breathe as well through your nose when you're brushing your teeth. Or if I'm shaving, things like I got to take my oxygen off because you can't shave with this all on your face. And you get really, really weak when you have to do without the oxygen for a few minutes just to do a daily chore like that. I've mentioned to my wife several times about how I'm totally puzzled by what my body's doing. And I get aggravated. My body is betraying me because there's so many things I'd like to do and want to do. I'd love to travel still. We used to travel all the time. And I can't do any of that because I don't have the energy to do it.
I'm a very independent person. I worked full-time my whole life. And I'm not as free now to be, like I said, to go out and do things. I think about, when I plan my day, I plan it around him. I plan it so that I'm here when it's time to eat a meal, so that I'm here when it's time for his ice cream in the afternoon, so that I'm here, sorry, when it's bedtime. because he goes to bed at 8. Sorry. He goes to bed at 8, so if I'm going to go out in the evening, I'm home before that. Sorry. But I plan things so that I'm more available.
I hope that my story clarifies with people what life is like for someone with this disease. I mean, I have friends, good friends, that to this day don't understand what's wrong with me. They look at me and think, oh, you'll get better. And the people will make that remark. They do it to me all the time. They say, well, you'll feel better later. They don't understand. I'm never going to feel better. This is a progressive disease. It gets worse every day you have it, and it's a terminal illness. It's that simple. I mean, I've come to that recollection with it, and I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I'm not afraid to die. I have a relationship with my Lord, and I'm not afraid to go. I mean, I'm not ready to go, but I don't think anybody is. But and in some regard, I guess I am ready to go to get away from all the suffering. I hate to be that way. I mean, this is a miserable life to live like this. Consider what my life used to be.
There needs to be more awareness. People need to know. If I was a registered nurse and never heard of it, the general public, for the most part, has never heard of pulmonary fibrosis. There needs to be more awareness. There needs to be research to determine what the cause is. I know there's a lot of research to determine drugs for treatment, but basically the cause for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis needs to be identified somehow through research. That's basically it. If we know the cause, then we're more likely to come up with a suitable treatment.